And we're back for the part 2 of the video. As you can see, nothing's changed. Like I said, the the recordings all happened the same day, but turns out editing, that's a thing. But here's the part 2, where we're finally gonna cover Meaties, Extra Meaties, and a few other things that I'd like to talk about. Now, we are now familiar and comfortable with a certain amount of lingo regarding frames. You know, we have plus minus frames, we got frame traps, we got true block strings. Now here is the real thing. What is a meaty? So in pure words, a meaty is just when I can time my active frames on an opponent's wake up, like as they're waking up. So an example would be Alex has a setup where after he does this move, if I dash up, I am +4. As you can see up there, I am +4. Meaning, if I do a 4-frame button as they're waking up, it's the first frame of my active is gonna hit them on their wake up. So like as soon as they can act, my stuff is already active inside their face or in their body. Yeah, to give an example, let's have Akuma wake up with a standing light punch again, because we know it's a 3-framer. So now reversal, meaning as soon as possible, and Akuma's now waking up with a crouching light punch. And counter hit, very familiar. This is pretty much a very similar concept to for frame traps. Now, similarly to the frame traps, if I do a button that's too slow for Akuma's wake up, I'm gonna get beat out. This button right here, Alex's forward heavy punch, is at 11 frames of startup, and I'm +4, which, going back to our early math, essentially makes Akuma's standing light punch wake up a 7-frame startup. Now, once again, 7 is oftentimes definitely lower than 11. So let's see what happens. I'm just getting hit straight out of that Lariat. You can even see the beginning parts of the Lariat animation about to happen, and I just get hit right out of it. And Meaties are useful for the same reason as frame traps, because it's just creating more situations where you can do more damage and get your combos in. So now then, what does extra meaty mean? That just is the same idea as meaty, where you're lining up your active with them waking up, but it hits extra late. Or to be specific, it hits later in the active frames. A quick caveat here, when you say extra meaty, sometimes when people say it, they don't specifically mean on wake up. It can also be in like standing situations or like a spacing situation where you do a punch but it might hit super late. To give an example, this button, it's +8 on hit, right? And it's an 11-frame startup move. So on the 11th frame, this frame right here is when the active starts, and also that's where kind of the frame advantage begins. So remember, it was +4 on block, but that's assuming it hits on the 11th frame. So +4, +5, +6, +7, and then on hit, oh god, on hit it's +8, meaning +8, +9, +10. So keeping that in mind, Alex actually has a setup with his DDT. I do the DDT, and he is +12. So if you remember, Larry is +8 on hit. We are +12 after DDT situation, meaning Akuma basically can start doing stuff like after he wakes up on the 13th frame after we did that whole interaction. So let's actually math this out, because that +8 is happening on the 11th frame. So this is 11 frame. This is frame number 11, first frame of active. We are +8. Akuma's still on the ground because it's only the 11th frame. Remember, we're +12. 12th frame, we're +9, but it's a 12th frame. Akuma's still on the ground. 13th frame, Akuma is up now and can do whatever he wants, whether it's block, jump, whatever, and he is hittable in this situation. But now we're actually hitting on the 13th frame, meaning we are now +10. So 8, 9, 10. So if I do a DDT and do a Lariat as soon as possible, it should be +10. Let's try it out. Look at that! The +8 has become a +10. So that's what it really means to be extra meaty, and the resulting changes of frame data and the plus and negativeness of situations. And I'll show you something cool. Like, specifically why I know that DDT setup is because of this. Remember, you can combo standing medium punch after the lariat, but you can't do standing heavy punch. Because this is a 6-frame move, so of course it fits into the +8, but this is a 10-frame move, and it doesn't fit. But remember, we can we can hit 10 frames plus 10 after the DDT, so we can now do combos like this. In this specific situation. +10, and now I can do that combo now. Which is normally not possible, because you can't normally combo standing heavy kick, or standing heavy punch after the lariat or the forward heavy punch. So that's the cool stuff about extra meaty. And also it can create situations where sometimes a negative move will become, like a super negative move becomes safe or 0. Or it can even make something plus when it wasn't, which that one doesn't happen often because just by design, because Capcom knows that stuff. But yeah, that's the cool stuff. So now that we've gone through pretty much all the more complicated things, I'll tell you what a frame kill is. And all it is you're killing frames by pressing and whiffing stuff to help time things better, especially meaties. So if I make them set wake up to jab, and then I try to like manually time it, it's kind of hard. Like, it's definitely doable, but if I did it too early that time, I did it too late that time, I did it too early that time, so it's kind of hard. But I know that I can actually frame kill with one lariat. So I can just do lariat, and the second one's just gonna hit meaty. And then the second one hits meaty, so now I don't have to think about it or manually time it. I can just frame kill with a lariat. That's gonna be my last thing, but you actually saw something interesting there, where instead of a regular counter, you saw crush counter. You see that? I'll do it again. Crush counter. What is that? What is that? That's actually very specific to Street Fighter V, and it's literally just certain buttons in this game have crush counter properties, and if you get a counter with those buttons, you get a crush counter instead. And there's, I think, 3 or 4 types of crush counters. I'll just set everything to counter, because like, right, these buttons, they don't have crush counter properties, so when everything's set to counter, they're just gonna do regular counters. If I do lariat, you get a crush counter, and specifically Alex's lariat has the spinning crush counter, which lets you extend combos, and his standing heavy kick also has a crush counter property, but it's got the crumple crush counter property, where he's gonna crumple down and fall down like that. And then similarly, you can continue combos. There's also like spinning flyback crush counters, where they'll just like fly back and you can't really get anything out of it besides get more space. But that is a whole other thing. But that's what a crush counter is, and it's specific to Street Fighter V. Hopefully that was helpful, and if you have any more questions, feel free to comment below. But also, I forgot what the website's called. I'll put the link to this website in the descriptions below. And it basically, it's like someone made like an Urban Dictionary type site for just fighting game lingos in general, so across all games. So if you're ever watching your favorite fighting game streamer or a tournament or something, and a commentator says something you don't understand, you can go to that website and type it up, and it will most likely be there. Either way, thanks for watching. Bye.